Hello, Sydney. Not unless anyone asks me to. We're not doing any.
This is my mom's account because she needed it yesterday, and last time I used Zoom, which was the only other time I successfully used Zoom, I didn't make an account, so I'm using my mom's now.
That is fine.
Also, it's not aimed properly and it won't focus. Mom, he's waiting for people to join. It's not 11 yet.
No, you're prepared. That's good. What do you need?
Okay, it looks like there's only 8 people here so far. I'll wait a little longer. See if anybody else is going to join.
Okay.
I'll start things in 2 minutes at 11:05.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's begin. For everyone who's not here, they can just watch the recording later that I will post if they want to. As I said yesterday in the remind, the purpose of this Zoom meeting, I'm not teaching a lesson today in this time. The purpose of this is to, if you had any questions about Unit 8 that hopefully you were working on over the past 2 weeks, I would answer those at the end after giving a bunch of announcements. And then this time is also that I'm going to give new updated information about this year's AP exam because it's obviously changing. And explain a plan of how we will go forward over the next 4 weeks, or really 5, when we are reviewing for the AP exam. So first off, if we were in school over the past 3 weeks, and this didn't happen, yesterday, April 2nd, would have been our test over Unit 8. And we would have started reviewing for the AP exam today. And now that we have 3 more weeks off and have no way of actually testing over Unit 8, we are not going to. And so starting now until the exam, we are just reviewing for the AP exam. And there will be multiple ways in which we will do that. The main way is the AP exam review sessions at the YouTube channel link that I have posted in multiple places. And any assignments and review activities and FRQs that I post for you to do at the Google Classroom. So if you are not in the Google Classroom, you need to get in the Google Classroom. I'm gonna share my screen real quick, show a few other things. So again, at the Google Classroom, this link right here is what I've posted. This is the YouTube channel that has all of the review videos. Instead of me teaching lessons during the review time, these people have graded the AP exam. These people are where I get the circuits from and a lot of my material. They are very good. And so for the actual lessons during review time, you need to be watching those videos. I have already posted an assignment that is just a review sheet of the entire year, every theorem, definition, and rule that we have learned. Now, if you are not yet in the Google Classroom, our Google Classroom class code for Calculus AB is A06QSPJ. You need to get in the Google Classroom if you're not already there. We are still having class, and our district has not said yet what our district is doing about now the 3 extra weeks and what's going to happen throughout the rest of the semester. Brian asked a very good question. Does he still need to be involved if he's not taking the exam? And I know there's a few other people that have that same question. It's reasonable. But since the district has not said what our district is doing about the new 3 extra weeks and what's going to happen in May, we don't know if grades will be taken or not starting April 13th. Even though we're not in school, they may ask that. We don't know. And if we do come back May 4th, grades will for sure be taken during that last 3 to 4 weeks of school. So not doing anything in this time would still be not a great idea, especially if district decides to take grades starting April 13th. So please join the Google Classroom. That and the remind is how I will send out information. Google Classroom is how I will send out any assignments, FRQs, practice worksheets, anything that you should be doing to review other than AP Classroom. a few changes that I do already know about for the AP exam. A few more changes that I found out about yesterday. Yesterday there was a live webinar with tons of calculus teachers. I wasn't part of it, but some things that some people have posted that I've already found out about. They'll post a whole lot more information later this afternoon that I will then disseminate to you. So this year's new AP exam dates are now Tuesday, May 12th or Monday, June 1st. Almost all, there are a few of you not taking it, but almost all of you are taking the exam. So this should definitely be written down. Keep this in mind. There is a schedule of when all of the AP exams are, which I will post for you. That would probably be helpful if you're taking multiple AP exams. So I will post that later. But for calculus, either AB or BC, the exam dates are now Tuesday, May 12th or Monday, June 1st at 1 p.m. Central, and it will be through AP Classroom. At the same place where we will start doing the personal progress checks. I was told some people are concerned about people's possible Wi-Fi or internet issues. So if you're afraid at all that during you taking the AP exam, you could get kicked off of it because of your internet or something like that, it getting cut short or your internet or computer causing a problem, I'd highly suggest planning on taking the first one in case something bad happens. And then you can do the makeup test date, June 1st, if something bad happens. So plan on taking it on May 12th, just in case like something goes wrong while you're taking it. Because it is online and there's no way to really monitor a lot of things during the AP exam, calculators will be allowed because there's no way they can take one away from you if you do have one. But they have said it's not going to be necessary. I mean, so that things can be equitable, there's a lot of people who don't have a calculator. So they're very smart people making the AP exam are designing the questions in such a way that none of the resources that you may want to use will be absolutely necessary. But since we can't take them away from you, will obviously be allowed. For instance, it will essentially be an open notes, open internet, open calculator kind of AP exam. But none of the questions will be in a form that you could just search the answer or look up the answer. It will be, I already stated a few weeks ago, that would have been last week, I guess, last Wednesday, that it will be 45 minutes. It's going to be 2 free response questions. Normally with the free response questions on the AP exam, they don't give you a time limit between each one, but they'll give an hour for 4 questions. So you really shouldn't take more than 15 minutes on one question. This year though, they are giving a time limit for each question. You will have 1 free response question that is 25 minutes and another one that is 15 minutes. They will give a 5-minute buffer time at the end of each for you to be able to upload your work. You will be able to take a picture and upload it. If you handwrite it, you will be able to type it in. They have an equation editor software in there as well. They are working tirelessly to be able to disseminate this so that all students will be able to take it. There's more information on the College Board website if you either don't have a computer or don't have internet and don't be able to take it. But the software they're using, you can take it either on a smartphone, on a tablet, on a normal laptop or desktop, anything like that. It will be accessible. What else did I say? There will be a timer icon for the AP exam, but you have the ability to turn it off. I would suggest keep track of time on your own. What else should I say? So they will be practicing the software ahead of time to make sure it all works. They will have like practice problems that they're going to send to a sample number of students just to make sure the software works in this scenario, writing the response, uploading it, all that kind of stuff. So it should be all fine. Can't consult with other people. There will be protocols in place to help prevent students from cheating. It's going to automatically go through a plagiarism software when you submit. What else? The AP tests, a copy of it will automatically be sent to your teacher. So, I mean, for the AP Calculus one, it's going to automatically be sent to me, and during other AP classes, a copy of it will automatically be sent to those AP teachers. One reason they're doing that is so that that teacher could look through it, and if it doesn't look like your normal work, they could flag it and have College Board recheck things. If it doesn't, if it looks like it may have been copied from another student that the teacher also has, like looks like two people work together, the teacher could flag it. And then College Board would re-look at things. What else? Okay, so any other information about the AP exam, I will send out later today through both Google Classroom and Remind, probably just a link to College Board's new update, because they will be providing a lot more information than what I just said later this afternoon. Okay. Any questions about this year's exam?
Do you know specifically like what units it's gonna be over, or like an example of an FRQ question I might ask? Because I've never seen an FRQ question over a calculus, so I don't know what to expect.
So we now, because now the test is May 12th, we now have 5 weeks to review and prepare. If you join the Google Classroom and do the work in there, and if you do the personal progress checks at AP Classroom, you will see a good amount of free response questions before you get to the AP exam. But it's going to be every unit we covered other than Unit 8.
Okay.
So if you were working on Unit 8 over the past 2 weeks and you don't feel like you get it, that is completely okay, because it is not on the AP exam.
Right.
Everything we covered before spring break is on the AP exam, or at least is testable. I mean, there's no way they can test with just that every single derivative rule. But everything is testable. Anything before spring break is possible within that. And if you are wondering like what the calculus free response questions look like, every single calculus AB free response question that has been given since 1998 is freely available to students by just searching on Google. They release them every year. So if you want to see what some of them look like, and even the scoring guidelines of the key to some AP free response questions, you can just search like 2018 Calc AB FRQ, and you immediately get all 6 of them from that year. Or then you could search a different year to see what some of those free response questions look like. I have some assignments and free response questions that I have received from
I'm not going to
some
stop
AP Calculus
chatting, Mom.
teachers. There's some AP Calculus teachers who have designed some new free response questions of what they think this year's will be like. And so I will have you do some of those ones. I'll also have us just do some of the other ones just from previous years. But obviously excluding anything that is Unit 8. Since one of the free response questions is 15 minutes and the other one is 25, people are thinking that the 15-minute one is going to be a usual length one of 3 or 4 parts. And that the 25-minute one would be probably 5 or 6 parts to it. Oh, with that in mind, I didn't really mention it, but also okay. Okay. So, okay, so here's the calendar currently at the website. Last Monday, I first gave you all the remind, so the remind code's still there. When I give you all that, Google Class code is there. I'll also show it again in a little bit. But another good thing to do to go ahead and start reviewing, other than the review assignment that I've already posted on Google Classroom, is any of the personal progress checks at AP Classroom. So if you did register for the AP exam, you all had to also join the My AP Classroom. Every personal progress check for each unit is currently unlocked. I didn't put a due date on any of them. It's just unlocked for you to do. I would highly suggest you do all of them up through Unit 7 by the time we take the exam. The exam, as I said earlier, is now May 12th. But if you can't do it that day for some reason, there's the makeup day, June 1st. So on the calendar right now, the only thing I have in these next few weeks, it will get filled in as we go on. I'll fill in. I'll fill in more as I decide more concretely exactly what we will be doing. But one thing I have in here so far for the next month is suggested guidelines of when you should have those personal progress checks done. Just kind of sparsed out that it would be a good idea to do the Unit 1 over the limits personal progress check. Do it by next Wednesday. Just have it separated just every 3 school days. You don't have to do any of the multiple choice personal progress checks. That would kind of be a waste of time since this year's test is not multiple choice. Just do the free response ones. So you should be doing the personal progress checks, the free response question ones over each unit all the way up through Unit 7 for the exam. These are suggested days that you should have them done so that you can get them all done in time. So I will still continue to post stuff to this calendar and to Google Class, and then also to Google Classroom. So you should have still all of your notes throughout the entire year. Khan Academy and Edgenuity are good resources, but starting now, we are just reviewing. You can use Khan Academy and Edgenuity to review if you feel like you want to. But starting today, our main goal is to just start reviewing. So I would suggest watch the YouTube channel that I posted. As many of those videos as you feel like you have time for, like set aside time to do that. That is essentially going to be our lessons. And then the assignments are each unit's pre-response question, personal progress checks, and anything that I post on Google Classroom. Yes, Casey?
Could you post lectures on Unit 8?
Like me doing the lecture?
Yes, please. I didn't understand the calculating volumes with cross sections.
Unit 8 is now not on the AP exam. And if the volume part is the only part you didn't get, I'm not sure if or when I will get to making videos of doing volume. There are great videos over the internet other than just Khan Academy for that. But next week, the YouTube channel that I posted, their review session videos are going to be over Unit 8. And I'm not sure if they're going to do one on volume or not. I know their plan is that any parts of Unit 8 that they do cover next week will be parts that are reinforcing earlier concepts, so that throughout their review video, even though the specific Unit 8 concepts are not on the exam, if someone was to watch the video, then they would also end up reviewing previous concepts. So my suggestion would be, right now, I don't know if I'll get to making a volume video, but watching the YouTube channel I posted would be sufficient for learning the Unit 8 stuff that you need for the AP exam. Any other questions?
Is Unit 8, any of Unit 8 going to be on the like area between curves? Could that be on the?
Area in general is on the AP exam, finding area under a curve, but area between two curves would now not be on the exam. But if you fully get how to do area between two curves, well, then you know how to integrate and find the area under a curve. So practicing that idea is definitely not, and knowing how to do that is definitely not bad. But the specific, like they're not going to now ask, what is the area between two curves? But they may ask just area under a curve. And so if you know how to do something further, then you're good on what they will ask. And so there will be particle motion, but not particle motion specific to integrals. There will be future value or net change type question. There could be future value or net change type question, which we covered at the beginning of Unit 8. And the reason that could still be on the exam is because it's essentially just fundamental theorem of calculus, so it's more of a Unit 6 concept.
I have a question.
Yes.
So, since they're all free response, like, does it ask for like an explanation as part of it, like a little essay part? Because that would be terrible.
Explanations wouldn't be like an essay. They would be like mathematical justification.
Okay.
Like when we did function analysis, if something's asking like where the maximum is, you would for sure have to justify, and your justification for why a point is its maximum is because that is where the derivative changes from positive to negative. And so you would have a mathematical justification for everything, but you will, yes, have to justify and explain your answers, but it wouldn't be like an essay. I mean, you will have to write words though to do that in a sentence, but it wouldn't be an essay or anything. It would be more of a mathematical justification. Any other questions?
Mr. Hunter?
Mr. Hunter.
Yeah.
What do you do on the mat? I was going through it today. What do you do on the calculator to like find a displacement thing? Like the shortcut is like math. What is it?
Displacement. Oh, so
Distance
when you're
over-
doing displacement, that's essentially just integrating, because the displacement of a particle from one time to the next is just it's accumulated change in distance. So that's just integrating. And
Okay.
so you're just asking, how do you integrate on the calculator?
Yeah.
And so that would be Math 9.
Math 9. Okay, cool.
Math 9 pulls up the integration. And speaking of that, with calculators, as Joey just said in the chat, you can use Desmos even on the AP exam. There's going to be very little to stop you from doing stuff like that. So as I said earlier, they're making the exam in such a way that, with knowledge that some people will be using those technologies, and where some people may not be, so that those things are not absolutely necessary, but could be helpful. So feel free to use Desmos, feel free to use a calculator, stuff like that. If you don't have your own personal calculator, because of what is happening right now, TI has made their software free for 3 months for students. And I'll try to find that link again, and I'll post that either on the calendar or Google Classroom, the link to their software, so that if you don't have your own personal calculator, you could download the TI software, and then you'd have the calculator on your computer.
All right, thank you.
So, Mr. Hunter?
Yeah.
Instead of signing up for the AP exam, I did like an online mini semester in May at a community college.
Okay.
So like if I have like questions regarding like stuff like that, can I still just like reach you through like your school email?
Yeah, feel free to. If you're doing a mini master in May, or
Thank
if
you.
you're taking Calc 1 just over the summer to get the college credit, and instead of doing the AP exam, or because you weren't sure how well you would do on the AP exam, feel free to email me if you have questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Hunter,
Yes.
do you know if like on our computers, if College Board is gonna like install some sort of software where they're recording us during the test or something, or is that illegal?
Like record your screen?
Yeah,
Or
like
record your face?
all of the above.
I don't think record your face. That's not going to happen. I mean, not every. It'll be allowed to be taken like on a desktop or on any sort of device, and I mean, so not every device could do that. They may be recording your screen though, but they have, as Ross just posted, most likely there will be some sort of agreement statement you have to say. But they have essentially said that it is a open notes, open textbook, open internet test, because there's unless we have certain computers, unless everyone has certain computers, there's no way to force you to download like a certain lockdown browser that forces you to stay on the same window the entire time while you're taking it. Like not everyone has that capability. So they're doing what they can with that in mind, which is why they've also said that the kinds of questions they will be asking are ones that can't just be straight looked up in a textbook, or can't just be straight Googled on the internet. Does that answer your question?
If we were gonna do the one where we like write down our work and then submit a picture,
Mhm.
are we still taking the same steps as in like accessing it online and then just writing it down in that amount of time? Like, how does it differ than taking the test online if you want to write down your answers and then submit a picture of them?
It would be working exactly the same way. You'd be going to you would have so as I already said, the test will be at 1 on May 12th. Just a little before 1, you would have to log into AP Classroom and prepare to take the exam. I don't know the super specifics on that yet. I will post it more later when I find out. But as the test is happening, like you'll see the question on your screen in a box that you could either start typing your answer, or in that same box there will be an upload button, and then you could upload a picture to as your answer to that part of the question.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be like somewhere else. It would be underneath taking the test.
Okay.
If you're going to go that route, it's just as you get to each different part of the question, you have the option of either uploading a picture or using the equation editor and another software in that box where it has you answer the question.
Okay.
Any other questions?
How many push-ups do you think I can do?
Enough. Watch me dab. Ah.
I have a question.
Yes.
So since it's like open note and like they're not gonna know if like you're talking to someone during the test or something, are they gonna make it like super hard?
Some aspects of it may be a little more hard. Because of how this year's is, there won't be anything that just by memorizing certain things would have been super helpful, especially since you can use a calculator and other things. Because since you can use a calculator, textbook, or internet, anything that you may just memorize so that you can immediately write down, like that may, it won't be just that. It will be more thinking oriented, and I think you'll see more when I post some of the free response questions for us to work on. What the questions might be like.
Okay.
Do you know how many questions will be on test? Because you said it was like 45 minutes long.
So again, it's going to be 2 free response questions. One will probably be 5 or 6 parts, 25 minutes. The other one will be a normal length of 3 or 4 parts and 15 minutes. And these free response questions, since it's covering the entire year, everything before spring break, have the ability to cover any different concept that we've ever covered in and amongst their different parts. And so you'll have 25 minutes to do one of them, and they will give essentially a 5-minute buffer time for you to be able to make sure and upload any answers that you have, that you've done, and submit. And same thing with after the second question.
Okay. So one question is 15 minutes. You'll have to answer.
Well, I mean that's how the answer questions have been in the past, previous years. Every year other than this year, There's 2 calculator free response questions, and they give you a 30-minute time limit for the two calculator free response questions. And then they give you an hour for the 4 non-calculator free response questions. That would, if you divide that evenly, less than 15 minutes per question. So this question will essentially be in a similar format to the previous years. But then they're going to have one question that's longer than usual, and 15 minutes.
Okay.
And if you didn't get the Google Classroom earlier, again, it's A06QSPJ. And in the Google Classroom, again, there's already a assignment into the large review sheet I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Any other questions? We will have a Zoom meeting once or twice a week from here on. Partly because I want y'all are all, most likely just staying in your houses as well. And so one reason to have these Zoom meetings is just to see each other a little bit. Please know that I miss you and this does suck. No one wants this to be happening. And it sucks that it's a possibility that the next time I see you may be graduation. Matt, on that question, they will be cutting off the 1, 2, 3, 4 in such a way that it's equivalent to previous years. So that because the whole goal is that if you were to pass the AP exam for Calc AB, then that proves that you're ready to go on to Calculus 2. And so a 3 last year, they will be making sure is equivalent to a 3 this year. With however they break it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, they have statisticians that will look at the test and will look at students' scores and to make sure that it's not comparing or competing with students, but just so that a 5 last year, same as a 5 this year, a 3 last year, same as a 3 this year. And so I don't know what that will really look like in that curve. As time goes later today, I will upload a lot of information to either Google Classroom or my calendar, not sure which, maybe both, of every concept that was in what we covered this year. I'll try to find a PDF of that poster that's up in my classroom, and so that then you know every different type of concept that could be on the exam. I'll also post the official schedule for all the AP exams, in case you're taking more than one. And later, once I know the final updated information, since I wasn't able to watch the video last night, they'll post a lot of new information. I'll also post a link to that. If there's anything else that you would like me to post, either on Google Classroom or the calendar, just ask. And if you want that resource, most likely other people do as well. So feel free to ask those kind of questions. Any other questions?
Mr. Hunter, whenever we have Zoom meetings, are you going to be going over the review thing you put in your Google Classroom? Is that what it's going to be?
So next week's Zoom meeting, which we're going to have on Wednesday, any Zoom meetings we're going to have, I'm doing Zoom meetings with students only on Mondays, Wednesdays, or Fridays. So if we have one, it's going to be one of those three, not on Tuesday or Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. So, and next Friday, Good Friday, we wouldn't have had school anyways. So next week's Zoom meeting will be next Wednesday. And yes, I will, ideally, you know a lot of the stuff that would go on that review sheet. So I'm not going to simply go over every single thing. So part of next week's Zoom meeting, next week's Zoom meeting is essentially going to be like a review lesson. And I'll answer any questions you have from that review sheet and go over, I'll start and I'll go over major topics from our limits unit and start that you'll need to know and remember that are likely for the AP exam. And just depending on the time limit on that, I may go over some other stuff, but essentially next week's Zoom meeting would be a review lesson. And so yes, I'll answer any questions you have from that. And in every future Zoom meeting, anything that I post as assignments for you to do on Google Classroom, the main purpose of our Zoom meetings is for me to answer your questions from the assignments that I give you. Because ideally, a more full classroom length lesson for review, you should watch the YouTube channel that I posted, because those are very good teachers. Been doing it for a long time. They've even graded the exams before. So for like full length review lessons, you should watch those, and then we'll treat my Zoom lessons as just question and answer times over the giant review sheet and any other assignments that I post. Any other questions? Been almost a full class time now.
Are you gonna post all the review lessons and stuff classroom, or do we have to find them on AP Classroom?
What review lesson?
Like you said, you were gonna post like each thing, and then we have like a quiz over it or whatever on AP Classroom.
So the only stuff at AP Classroom right now that you should work on is the personal progress checks for each unit. The free response question personal progress checks for each unit. Then the review lessons, I posted the YouTube channel to the review lessons on both Google Classroom and Remind.
Oh, okay.
Those are the lessons you should watch. Then any other assignments that you should do will be under Google Classroom. So at AP Classroom, personal progress checks. For review lessons, the YouTube channel I posted, and then Google Classroom for anything else, worksheets, reviews, free response questions. I will send out a lot of free response questions for us to work on the review on the Google Classroom, and then in later Zoom meetings, I'll go over any questions you have from those free response questions. Or if I don't think there's enough time for me to go over it in the Zoom meeting, I may just walk through it as a video on my own and then just post a link to the video of how to do that free response question. Now, Joey, you're right. We probably all need haircuts. I know I do. There's no haircut place open right now.
I probably need a haircut, but I won't get one, even if they were open.
Any final questions?
Why is someone's picture Joker cat? Time to dab. And the glasses. Bye.
Okay. Well, if you don't have any more questions, we will now let this be over. Feel free to leave if you want to ask a question after other people leave, you could stay on a little bit, I guess. See you. Bye. It's good to see your faces. Miss you guys.
My camera won't
Mason and Bella, that
focus.
doesn't look like social distancing.
You need to be social distancing, Bella.
It's like 3 feet right here.
Oh, okay.
6 feet's what's required. Bye.
Bye.
Theodore.
Bye. See you, Mr. Hunter.
Bye.